Hello class, welcome to another assessment here for your Anesthesia 1475 class. This week we're going to be going over patient monitoring. Now we went over patient monitoring in week 3, but this is going to be more in depth because I know we've been doing a lot of things and we missed a lot of Mondays, so we're going to get more into it and then in depth. So I'm just going to show you what I'm going to be looking for in the assessment and then what you're going to have to do in order to get all of your points. So the first thing we're going to do is we got to do what's first on the ASA algorithm. So the first thing we got to do is we got to put our pulse oximeter on, our SpO2. So we're going to take your SpO2 monitor and we're going to go ahead and put this on the finger. So you want to make sure that the infrared light is on. So it doesn't have the infrared light because the monitor's not on, but you see right here's the nail bed. So you always want the nail bed at the top. So you're gonna put it on the finger. So we have our first one on, we have our pulse ox on. Now, the next thing we're gonna move to is we're gonna move to the blood pressure cuff. So you're gonna come in the drawer over here and you're gonna grab the appropriate sized cuff. So for her, you could either use the adult or you could use the small adult, whichever one you would like. Now, like I mentioned before, you gotta put the blood pressure cuff on the non-IV side. So as you can see, you have your IV going to her right arm. So we gotta put it on her left arm because if we're giving fluid on induction or any propofol or anything like that, she's not gonna be able to get it because the cuff is up and it's constricting all the blood vessels. So we're gonna put it on like so. On the blood pressure cuff, you see an artery range, and then you have your range over here for the cuff size. So what you want to do is you always want to make sure the artery side is to her artery. So right here, and you see right here where it says artery, that's right where her brachial artery is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, put it around, make sure it's a nice tight fit. It's good to go. Now we can put our blood pressure cuff on. And then once we put it on, what you would do in the real operating room is you would go ahead and just start it. So you would come over here and press non-invasive blood pressure, and then you would press start right here. And that's what's gonna start the blood pressure and get it going. Next, we're going to put on our EKG. So you have your EKG right here. So usually a lot of people might put these on before they put it on the patient, but me, I like to put them on the patient before I actually put the leads on. And the reason behind that is because if you put this on with the leads already on, you're gonna kind of be putting pressure wherever you put the leads on the patient. That could be a little bit discomfortable or uncomfortable. So what I usually do is I just take the leads themselves, and this would be a 5-lead EKG. Put one on the chest. You're gonna put the other one on the stomach. Now, it's left arm, left leg, left arm, or right arm, or right arm, right leg, left arm. But for instructional purposes only, we're gonna just be putting them on the chest cavity. Then you're gonna put one in the intercostal space there. And then you're gonna put one right here below the shoulder. So now before, the mnemonic for this is going to be snow over trees, smoke over fire, and then you have your brown by the ground. So you take a look at your leads, your EKG leads. You're gonna go ahead and put them in order. Now, I like to untangle these. So we're good to go there. So you have your red, which is gonna be your fire. And then you're gonna have your brown by the ground. And then, sorry. your black, your brown, your red, and then you're gonna have your green and your white. So she's good to go there. We have our snow over trees, smoke over fire, brown to the ground. Last but not least, I'm gonna ask you to put a temperature probe on her. So this is gonna be your axillary temperature probe. What you're gonna do is take it out. You're just gonna put it on either side, the left or the right axillary. And then you're gonna take your cable and plug it in. So now you have your pulse ox, your blood pressure cuff, your EKG, and your temperature. And those are gonna be our standard ASA monitors besides the end-tidal CO2, which we'll get into obviously when we start intubating. But this is pretty much what I'm gonna be looking for on assessment. Like I said, the biggest thing is just to remember that the blood pressure cuff goes on your non-IV side. Other than that, I can't wait to see you guys in the next assessment, and I'll see you guys soon.